Do you think Iran is socialist, you moron? That's number one. Number two, of course I'm complaining that all of the tax dollars that we pay directly goes to defending this belligerent, ethno-supremacist, psychotic, religious ethno-state that is blowing up children at a rapid clip. If the retaliation from Iran was met the standard that Israel's retaliation and first strikes looked like inside of Iran, then Israeli society broadly would have a different attitude about all of this back and forth. They wouldn't be as like invested in unlimited bloodshed.
About whether you are moving closer, or you believe the U.S. is moving closer to striking Iranian nuclear facilities. Where's your mindset on that?
I can't say that, right? You don't seriously think I'm going to answer that question? Will you strike the Iranian nuclear component? And what time exactly, sir? Sir, would you strike it? Would you please inform us so we can be there and watch? I mean, you don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble, and they want to negotiate. And I said, why didn't you negotiate with me before? All this death and destruction. Why didn't you negotiate? I said to the people, why didn't you negotiate with me 2 weeks ago? You could have done fine. You would have had a country. It's very sad to watch this. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's so, you know, everyone thought it was going to be the reverse. I didn't think so. And I was telling them, you gotta do something. You gotta negotiate. And at the end, last minute, they said, no, we're not going to do that, and they got hit. Remember 60 days, and then came the 60. 61 is going to become a very famous number. That was one hell of a hit. That first hit, that was one hell of a hit. Not sustainable, to be honest. That's where it ended. It ended on the first night. Yes.
Is it too late, though? Do you think it's too late to now?
Really, nothing's too late. The only thing too late is Powell. Powell's too late. Too late, Powell.
Have the Iranians reached out to you, Mr. President?
What?
Have the Iranians reached out to you?
Yes.
And what did
I said it's very late, you know?
What?
I said it's very late.
Okay. So it's too late to apologize. It's too late to do a deal, but also they should do a deal. But also I might strike them. But also I might not strike them. Who knows? President Trump has summoned reporters to the Oval Office, and the purpose is currently unclear.
To be talking. We may meet.
By the way, the backdrop of this, of course, is the two big, beautiful poles. He's putting up two flags, best poles that you've ever seen, best in the business, rust-free, and also the line that goes up to the flag is actually built inside of the pole as opposed to being outside of the pole, and therefore it can brave the elements. Okay, a huge announcement, coming from Donald Trump on the, what, Juventus?
What do you think? Think a woman could make the team? General managers, what do you think?
Trump accepts French ambassador during diplomatic ceremony at the White House.
You do have, right? But they should be playing with women, right? You know, it's one of those things. One of those things. See, they're very diplomatic.
As you're making your decision on Iran, obviously there's been a change from when you were pursuing a diplomatic negotiation.
Yeah.
Now you seem very open to the idea of potentially taking U.S. action. Obviously you're not going to tell us that. Can you walk us through what contributed to that change, how you got to where you are in making your decision now?
Well, I think it started the first night. I mean, you know, that first night was devastating. And it really knocked the one side off, as you know. It was a devastating evening, day. And it pretty much proceeded that way. I have a meeting in the war room in a little while, situation room, as some people call it. So we're going to meet, we're going to see. We're in the midst of it's a terrible thing. I hate to see it. I hate to see all that death, so much death and destruction. But death primarily is what I hate to see.
Does that mean you haven't made a decision yet on what to do?
I have ideas as to what to do, but I haven't made a final. I like to make the final decision 1 second before it's due, you know, because things change. I mean, especially with war, things change with war. It can go from one extreme to the other. War is very bad. There was no reason for this to be a war.
Very
there was
bad.
no reason
War
for
is
Russia,
very
Ukraine.
bad. Things can change.
A lot of wars there was no reason for. You know? You look right up there, I don't know, see the Declaration of Independence, and I say, I wonder if you know, the Civil War, it always seemed to me maybe that could have been solved without losing 600,000 plus people. So a lot of, it's very sad to see. It's very sad to see what's happening. But with that being said, I would say right now, Israel, from the standpoint of winning a war, is doing pretty well. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, in your meeting today with the Chief of Staff of the Pakistani Army, did you talk about Iran? Did that come up? Is there anything you can share from that meeting?
Yeah. Well, they know Iran very well, better than most. And they're not happy about anything. It's not that they're bad with Israel. They know them both, actually, but they probably, maybe they know Iran better. But they see what's going on, and he agreed with me. Reason I had him here, I wanted to thank him for not going into the war, just, ending the war. And I want to thank, as you know, Prime Minister Modi just left, just a little while ago, just left. And we're working a trade deal with India. We're working a trade deal with Pakistan. And they were both here. But I was with Modi a few weeks ago. He was here, actually. But now we speak to him, and I'm so happy. There was a deal that two smart people, plus, they have people on their staff too, but two very smart people decided not to keep going with that war. That could have been a nuclear war. Those are two nuclear powers, big ones, big nuclear powers, and they decided not. So I was honored to meet him today.
And if I can, Mr. FIFA, sir, and for anyone who may want to answer, how has the travel bans from certain countries affected fans maybe coming in for the games, or is that not a consideration?
Johnny, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's not a concern for us. For the games now in the Club World Cup, everything has been done in a very smooth way. We have an excellent collaboration, of course, with the president, but with the task force in particular. For next year, the World Cup, we have one more year to work, and the learnings that we have this year with the Club World Cup, which is historic, I say this to all the Americans, because it's the first ever Club World Cup, and it's played in the United States of America. So the learning.
These guys are so funny. This is so FIFA, by the way. FIFA, I feel like at this point, only conducts its global events in countries that are dictatorships, okay? It's always a country that wants to engage in sports washing because they're doing untold amounts of unprecedented violence and also engaging in autocracy and just destroying their domestic population. It is hilarious. FIFA at this point will never, ever go to a country that is doing all right, okay, by international standards. It's oh, do you have slavery going on? That seems it looks like, it literally feels like they have a list of check marks. And if you hit two of those check marks, FIFA's we'll come and do our events in your country. It's hilarious. Yeah, Turkmenistan up next. It is so stupid. It is so goddamn stupid. Russia, Qatar, USA, Saudi Arabia. It's I don't know what they're doing. I don't even know how this is going to be conducted, because the thing is Trump is actively squashing any sort of tourism capabilities that the United States has by, one, redirecting ICE agents that would normally, or CBP agents that would normally be processing people expeditiously when they're coming into the country. So there's massive lines, and it's annoying. Two, they're erroneously stopping and detaining people and then sending them back to their countries at the point of entry for no reason other than the fact that they just want to be bullies. So that actually has diminished tourism and people coming into the country for fun, right? Who the f is going to attend this? We have arrested and detained actual athletes in the country. Who is supposed to come here? Who is supposed to come here? How is this supposed to work? We got travel bans. We're deporting athletes. And Trump is just over here being yep, it's going to be great. We're going to do a great job. Juventus, they're saying.
Nobody's able to.
I don't know how to say it. Some people say Juventus. I say Juventus. I don't really know how to say it.
But these are incredible planes and weapons. We have the best weapons in the world, by far. Nobody close. And we're
very scary foreign name.
Israel has incredible
very
weapons.
Scary foreign name. Don't know how to say it. Believe it. But I let these guys. These are the good ones. These are the good ones that I let in. These are the good ones that I let in. The rest of them, I got. Listen. You do a penalty kick against an American sports team, I'm arresting you.
He's been
lobbying for the U.S. to get more involved?
You defeat one of our big, beautiful clubs, and let me tell you, you're not seeing daylight ever again. I'm just kidding. Or am I? Am I kidding? Who knows?
Agreement, but it was such a shame. They were so close. You know, Iran was very close to signing what would have been a very good agreement.
You defeat an American club, you're gonna see the inside of SICAT, El Salvador.
In the White House, that's a big statement, but it's very late.
Is it enough of a statement to hold off?
We're going to see what happens. Look, we're going to see what happens. Ending it as soon as you can would be good.
Have you closed the door on meeting with them?
No.
Okay, so it's still open to them coming here in your eyes.
I mean, they asked if they could come, and we'll see if that happens. It's not that easy for them to come. They can't get out. You know, they're in Iran, and in one case, the guy wanted to come so badly, but he can't get out because there's bombs dropping all over the place.
Have you seen the Tucker Carlson, Senator Ted Cruz interview? It seems like this issue on whether or not the United States should strike is kind of dividing a lot of your supporters.
Well, my supporters are for me. My supporters are America first. They make America great again. My supporters don't want to see Iran have a nuclear weapon.
So great.
Tucker's a nice guy. He called and apologized the other day.
What?
Because he thought he said things that were a little bit too strong, and I appreciated that. And Ted Cruz is a nice guy. I mean, he's been with me for a long time. I'd say once the race was over, he's been with me ever since, right? But very simple. If they think that it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon, then they should oppose me. But nobody thinks it's okay. People that
What did he do to his
I don't
hair? He
wanna fight
dyed
either.
it,
I'm not ready to
clearly.
fight. But if it's a choice between fighting and them having a nuclear weapon, you have to do what you have to do. Maybe we won't have to fight. Don't forget, we haven't been fighting. We add a certain amount of genius to everything, but we haven't been fighting at all. Israel's done a very good job of that. But we'll see what happens. The bottom line is they can't have nuclear. And if I can't imagine that Ted Cruz says it's okay for Iran to have nuclear, including Tucker. I don't think Tucker says it's okay. The problem is then they get themselves into a thing. They don't want them to have nuclear, but then they say, well, we don't want to fight. Well, you're going to have to make a choice because it's possible that you're going to have to fight for them not to have nuclear. And it's interesting because I did ask Tucker, I said, well, are you okay with nuclear weapons being in the hands of Iran? And he sort of didn't like that. He didn't want to really, but he sort of didn't like that. And I said, well, if it's okay with you, then you and I do have a difference. But it's really not okay with him. Therefore, you may have to fight, and maybe it'll end, and maybe it'll end very quickly. But there's no way that you can allow, whether you have to fight or not, you can allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon because the entire world will blow up. I'm not going to let that happen.
Mr. President, you had a bit of a row with President Emmanuel Macron of France the other day, the G7 it sounded like.
He's a nice guy. Look, he said I was going back home to make a ceasefire. Not a ceasefire. We're long beyond ceasefire. And I said, why do you say that? Why would you say ceasefire? It's a bad term to use. Because everything's going swimmingly, we'll take a little time.
Very bad term. Very bad term to use.
We're looking for a total.
We like more fire. Macron, he doesn't know about it, but we like more fire, no ceasing of the fire.
Mr. President,
So I thought it was a very badly worded
You're in the USA,
statement by him,
complaining in
and
the
obviously
USA and supporting Iran with all the freedom of expression in the world, while in Iran you can't even complain about Iran without being punished. Incredible, isn't it? That's capitalism for you. Literally has nothing to do with capitalism. Do you think Iran is socialist, you moron? That's number one. Number two, of course I'm complaining that all of the tax dollars that we pay directly goes to defending this belligerent, ethno-supremacist, psychotic, religious ethno-state that is blowing up children at a rapid clip. And then we, instead of fixing our ISPs, instead of fixing our goddamn infrastructure, instead of fixing our roads, instead of fixing our healthcare system, instead of fixing our housing crisis, we're spending all of our money in weapons that we create to defend Israel. We send those weapons to Israel. Israel gets to have social safety nets, and your dumb ass turns around and goes, "Oh, America first." Like, don't you love America? You get to be thankful that you get to at least criticize it, while simultaneously you're saying, I don't like your criticism. I don't like your criticism. Maybe you should shut the up. Are you even an American? Because every single dumb that says this is actually a LARPing Eurocuck who literally is a right-wing European cuckold who wishes that they were a MAGA American half the goddamn time. Are you even American? Because you don't sound like it. Get the out of my country, bitch. You should be thankful that America's spending all of its endless wealth and endless bounty in defense of a psychotic religious fundamentalist foreign state that is like blowing up children with our weapons, and then with our tax dollars going to defend the repercussions of blowing up children all over the region. How ridiculous. There's nothing funnier, to me at least, than seeing a European America LARPer, like a European America First LARPer, not recognizing that the America First policies, like blowing up global trade, is unironically harming European interests way harder than ever before. All of your leadership is servile to American interests. They come here, they know that they're more intelligent than Donald Trump, but they still have to genuflect. They still have to kiss the ring. And you just go, nah, that's actually based. Some of you have not actually evolved from the serfdom mindset that you have. It's just that instead of a direct monarch, an inbred monarch that rules over you, now the inbred monarch is all the way here in America. Just as stupid, just as entitled, and you love that. You demand more of it. It's so stupid. Hasan, low-key dumb. Why do these guys never actually say what the problem is, instead of just simply saying, oh, this guy's just dumb, guys, don't listen to him? Tell me why. Trump is very unpopular in Europe, I know, except for the fact that all of European leadership still genuflects to his demands. His wishes are their commands. And not only that, but also I'm talking specifically about the right-wing Eurocucks who come in here and LARP as though they're like First Amendment auditors in America. At least you have some semblance of social safety nets in Europe. You should probably be actively defending them, you know? I'm not talking about the Europeans that obviously have understandable resentment towards Donald Trump for a multitude of different valid reasons. I'm talking about the dumb fucks who are right-wing and LARP as American hogs, even though they live in Europe. President Trump has summoned reporters to the Oval Office. We know why he did that. He wanted to flex. Okay. Getting back to this.
It's